Number 10, Todd Day. At forward at 6'9" from Seton Hall, 00, Anthony Avent. At forward at 6'9" from Illinois, number 3, Ken Norman. And at center at 6'9" from Penn State, number 40, co-captain Frank Rakowski. The trainer is Mark File. Assistant coaches Frank Hamlin, Jim Ian, and Butch Carter. And the head coach, Mike Dunleavy. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'5" from Oklahoma State, number 3, John Stark. At guard at 6'4" from Marquette, number 25, Doc Rivers. At forward at 6'7" from Tennessee State, number 14, Anthony Mason. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, co-captain Charles Oakley. And at center at 6'11" from Ohio State, number 32, Herb Williams. The head trainer is Mike Saunders. The assistant trainer, Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches, Dick Carter and Chip Van Gundy. And the head coach of the Knicks, Pat Riley.
Pat Riley looking for win number 650 in his celebrated career. Patrick Ewing last missed a game for the Knicks on February 4th of last season. Knicks beat Golden State, but they turned to Charles Smith in the middle, and he responded with 20 points. They won't have Ewing, and they won't have Charles Smith tonight, but if there is a team that they can get away with a few things in terms of height in the middle, it is against the Milwaukee Bucks. Last season, the Knicks dominated Milwaukee 3-1. That was indicative of the Bucks' 28-54 season, which found them finishing 6th in the Central Division, John.
Yes, it was a very tightly contested series. No question about it. And that first one, Patrick Ewing missed at the buzzer, I should say, in the December 26th game, right to the wire. And in the third win, Ewing with a big 35-point game turned it around. Actually, they just cannot handle Ewing. So this is one great break for them tonight, because Patrick is a monster for this team. If he was on the court tonight, he would be the only true center facing as far as what the Bucks can expect to handle. I mean, they just have no one to deal with him.
So the Knicks and the Bucks will jump it up. Jess Kersey, Bernie Fryer, Ted Bernhardt are the officials. We're set to go for the Knicks. They look to make it 6 wins, no defeats. Well, Herb Williams' first job is well done. Knicks get the tip. Starks firing early. And Long Islander Frank Rakowski is there to chase it down. The Bucks have some good young players. I think it's still to be determined, though, how well they'll come together as a team. In their starting lineup, Anthony Avent out of Seton Hall, Kenny Norman, the one-time standout for the Clippers, Frank Rakowski, he's proven himself over the years. Todd Day, he had a 22-point game against the Knicks last season here at the Garden. Rakowski's miss, Mason running. So is Starks.
Well, the Knicks right in stride. The fourth game now in 5 nights. Actually 6 games in all in 9 nights. Very similar to what the Bucks are facing. In fact, it's the exact number of games that the Bucks have been playing as well. And the Knicks are only their second home game now.
Todd Day, standout from Arkansas, hits his first shot, 2-2. Well, the Knicks are looking to get up the floor.
That was a great pass by John Starks. One of the advantages the Knicks have tonight in going to their second line center is that Herb Williams got a great run last night, Al, 25 minutes, so he's not coming in cold.
Rakowski is off. Oakley is there. Charles Oakley has been a monster. Double-double city, and he's a big reason why the Knicks are 5-0.
Charles Oakley has been doing it every night.
Rivers guarded by Murdoch. Mason with Kenny Norman. Rivers off. There's Frank Rakowski. Almost mishandled by the Bucks. is fouled on the race to the hoop. The Bucks started the season with a win over Cleveland. And actually, they've got to believe that they probably deserve a 2-3 record right now instead of 1-4. They were victimized by a 28-foot jump shot by Tony Kukoc of the Bulls, and that defeated them by 1. Norman looks inside. That's a great pass to Anthony Avent.
Most unusual when a guy grabs a rebound like that. He's so close to the basket, he usually instinctively goes up and shoots it himself.
Oakley over Brakowski. Murdoch the rebound. This is the last place team in terms of rebounding a season ago, and early on they're showing indications that they are dedicated to grabbing some rebounds here tonight. 3-second violation.
As Mike Dunleavy elaborated on to me before the game, the point you just made, he repeated, and he said, however, we're 12th this year in rebounding early in the season, so we have made improvement, and Norman is one of the big reasons why.
That's last to more than halfway up the league. Avent with Oakley, Jay with Starks, Williams inside, and Mason is there. Bucks sporting a totally new look this season. It is purple and green with a little silver thrown in. The Bucks assistant now, Frank Hamlin, was saying everyone around the NBA says we like your new blue uniforms, and he says no, they're purple. Well, they look blue evidently on virtually all the TV cameras and highlights around the NBA. They are purple, and vibrantly so. Norman tipped away by Williams. Starks running with Mason. Knocked out of bounds and a push on Brakowski.
That was a left cross, it looked like, to the cheek of Doc Rivers.
Mason will inbound, fresh 24 for the Knicks. It is 4-4 opening minutes at the Garden. Starks, good fake. It is stolen away. Kenny Norman.
That's a play that happens because a pass is telegraphed, and Norman read that beautifully. You've always got to present some deception when you're throwing long passes.
Starks, Oakley, and a foul as he passed off. Charles Oakley charging the baseline. He's been involved in the offense to a perfect degree. His rebounding numbers are second only to Dennis Rodman.
He's led the Knicks in each of the first 5 games. In addition to that, he's been the leading rebounder for both teams in the first 5 games. So he has owned the boards.
Mason with the follow-up jump hook. That ties the game at 6.
That block by Herb Williams was timely. It's one thing Patrick Ewing has done so well in the last 2 games. He had 7 blocked shots over the last 2 games for the Knicks.
Murdoch rejected by Rivers. Knicks running. Starks leads the way. Williams to Rivers to Starks. Brakowski fronts Herb Williams, trying to drive around him. He draws the foul.
Brakowski had a lot to say to the official. This is Brakowski's game. He works out of the corner with that mobility and takes a shot at the end of the move. He felt he should have gotten a 2-shot foul, which would have really been the second foul on the one play.
Herb Williams with 2 personal fouls in the first 4 minutes and change. Brakowski goes for a shovel inside. Once again, the Knicks push it up. What a pass to Starks. Doc Rivers led him perfectly.
That was a beautiful finish by Starks, Al, but you know it wouldn't have happened hadn't Rivers gone up and gotten a rebound with all the big men in his way.
Norman for Avent. He shows a good touch, and that's going to count with a foul. with the foul. A timeout on the floor. 6:56 to go. The Knicks up, and they're up without Patrick.
Early in the game now, the Knicks not showing any fatigue at all. Look at this Doc Rivers rebound with the big guys around him. Then he bursts out, throws a long lead pass to John Starks, looking like a receiver on the football field, and John finished that play beautifully. Canon Technology and MCS Service. One is a great reason to buy the other.
6 minutes, 56 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Knicks leading the Milwaukee Bucks 10-8. They'll play without Patrick Ewing tonight. Patrick out with a strained neck muscle with some spasms, very little range of motion. And if he's not in the lineup, you know he is in pain. Frank Rakowski, the starting center for the team, is 6'9". So as we said earlier, the Knicks can take a gamble without Patrick Ewing tonight against Milwaukee. Doc Rivers gives the Knicks a 12-9 lead. Knicks are getting a lot from their guards in the early moments. Rivers and Starks very involved.
Al, it looks to me like Rivers is making a statement to Pat Riley, something to the tune of, I'd like to play a little more. He's come out very strong early. He's already got 3 assists and looking very sharp.
Day for Avent. Avent hits. Starks runs into Day at the midcourt line, and he is called for the foul.
Any pass by Todd Day, now in his second year, is considered by his teammates a good pass, because Todd generally thinks ball hoop, shoot that ball, and in order for him to develop as a backcourt man, and he's playing the 2-guard position, now he's got to learn to share the ball a little more.
Switch by the Bucks, leaves Starks open for 3.
Now this man, number 3, John Starks, only played 17 minutes last night, so the energy that he's shown early is just because of that. He wants to come back and avenge that disappointing performance in Indiana.
He's only shooting 38%, but he's 4 of 5 in the first quarter here. Oakley battling with Avent. Big rebound by Bonner, who's come off the Knicks bench, and it winds up in the hands of Frank Rakowski. First substitution for the Knicks, and it is Anthony Bonner for Herb Williams. Bonner takes the low pass, Starks for another 3. Murdoch with Avent running. Holds on and goes to Kenny Norman.
Oh, what a tough shot. On the left side of the court, to reverse your body like that and shoot up a right-handed shot. Shows a lot of
John Starks charging through traffic. Well, the Bucks are pressuring the outlet pass at midcourt, and that can leave a lot of room behind that pressure if you can break free, as Starks does here.
John Starks has come out absolutely inspired, already in double figures, 5 out of 7 from the field, and he is exploding here on the Bucks.
And John will go to the line with 5:11 to go in the opening quarter. He's leading everybody with 11 points. He has hit 23 straight free throws. One of the big upsides of the Knicks. You looked at me, John. You thought I jinxed him.
That's right. It looked that way.
Patrick had 21 straight too until last night. Knicks has a team well over 80%. That's traveling. And the turnover means Knicks ball. Offensive foul is the call. Sorry. Frank Rakowski is called for the offensive foul, his second. Both centers now with 2 fouls. Mike Dunleavy in his second year as head man of the Milwaukee Bucks, where he was an assistant before taking the head coaching job with the LA Lakers.
Mike Dunleavy, the envy of all coaches everywhere, because he got an 8-year contract now in year 2.
And the debut at the Garden of former Hartford standout Vin Baker, a first-round draft pick, a lottery pick. The Bucks were able to get 2 consecutive such picks for the first time in the history of their franchise. Day last year, Baker this year. Rivers is off. Anthony Bonner tried to wreak a little chaos in the middle. Bonner is called for the loose ball foul, his first. 8th overall pick in the '93 draft. The numbers were unbelievable. He's only the 2nd NAC player to be drafted in the opening round. The first one was the late Reggie Lewis out of Northeastern.
When the Bucks talk about Vin Baker, they talk as much about him as a person as they do about his basketball playing ability. One of the things that impressed the Bucks organization was the fact that he signed so early, came in, got as much experience in the preseason as he could get, did not go through a long holdout as many preceding NBA drafts have done. He gives off a terrific attitude. They thought he was going to be a 3, a small forward, and Mike Dunleavy told me before the game he's developing now into a 4 and possibly will be used as a center.
One of the reasons is that he came in 15 pounds heavier. Mason spinning, whirling, just missing. Baker came in 15 pounds heavier than he wrapped up his college career at Hartford, and that gives him a little bulk inside. A little sloppy by the Bucks. Knicks push it up. Starks. Slime. Saving. Oakley. Charles Oakley. A little pause before that happened, but John Starks was really moving. 4:07 to go. Knicks by 4.
Oakley fronting Avent, trying to deny the pass inside. Finally gets it inside.
That is some defensive job by Charles Oakley. Knicks have it. Bonner for Starks. Here he goes again. Oh! A slow rise. Beautifully done.
What John is demonstrating to the Bucks is a feeling and an effectiveness level that says, I cannot be stopped. I will not be stopped. He is willing his shots in, it seems, time and again now. John Starks already with 14 of the Knicks' 22 points. Plus other fabulous items while benefiting New York City's youth. Call 630-YMCA for information and tickets. The YMCA Sports Auction is sponsored by WOR Radio, TWA, Dime Savings Bank, and the New York Times. Charles Oakley, middle of the picture, denying Anthony Avent the position he wants. Hard work, not fouling, just staying in front of him, banging, not fouling. Last night, Pat Riley said it was the most complete game the Knicks played. And he said, I may be going out on a limb, but I think Charles Oakley is the best defensive player in the NBA right now.
That wasn't a bad defensive play by John Starks, drawing the offensive foul. And one more look.
Oakley setting himself up to get the offensive foul. Starks getting a good call.
3:23 to go. Opening quarter, Knicks by 6.
Starks didn't go into the defense. He just went straight up in the air. The defense, the offensive man came into him.
Blue Edwards, Brad Lohaus off the bench for Milwaukee. Oakley rattles it around. Bonner is there for the offensive rebound. Rivers, Starks. Another offensive rebound by Bonner. This time he'll take it.
Look at Oakley.
Another offensive rebound by Bonner. He deserved it.
What a sequence. But Al, the whole thing began with Oakley kicking the ball loose into Bonner's area. And Bonner did a terrific job. What a combination they are.
Another offensive foul called on Milwaukee. Anthony Bonner giving himself and the Knicks 3 extra chances, and that is something that Mike Dunleavy knows his team cannot allow the Knicks. Knicks by 8. Murdoch meets Rivers. Switching on defense. Starks tries to take advantage. John Starks really feeling it. Wants the ball, wants to shoot. Making things happen. He now has 16 points. No one else is in double figures.
He's stealing the show right now. It's so difficult to shoot off a big fake like he executed. Usually the fake throws you off balance.
Starks is 7 for 10. The Knicks on an 11-1 run. Blue Edwards is off the rim. Bonner drops it off in traffic from Mason. Vin Baker breaks out with Murdoch. Sloppy ball handling. Starks for Oakley. Look out and press row. Oakley goes right over the table.
John Starks, after stealing that ball, throwing a lead pass, had a little too much on it. And one of the 2 or 3 of the paying customers had a little too much on them too, with Charles arriving.
I would love to have had a tight shot camera. Here's Bonner breaking away. Knicks are swarming the Bucks without a chance. The Knicks team defense has been extraordinary.
It started last night in the second quarter in Indiana, and the Knicks flew home with it, Al, and they brought it right out.
4 minutes plus without a field goal for the Bucks. That'll continue. Oakley, outlet, Starks leading the way. Followed by Bonner.
Mike Dunleavy's got to scream for a timeout. I mean, his team is getting run out of here.
They're not getting back in transition. It's a 15-1 run. Knicks doing it at both ends of the floor. They're getting a lot of layups. It is Starks with 16 points. Anthony Bonner, John, off the bench with 5 rebounds and 6 additional points. And if Doc Rivers is trying to make a little statement for himself, Anthony Bonner's trying to do the same. He's getting a chance with Patrick Ewing out. Herb Williams with the early 2 fouls.
6'11" Brad Lohaus on the long shot. Oakley, who's owning the boards with the peg down court to John Starks. John is in the groove of going around the basket and finishing, but just in case he missed it, Anthony Bonner continued with the effort down court and followed that shot up.
And you know, this court's not big enough for the Knicks right now. If you're in the first row, sitting at the far end, you've had your eyes widened by Charles Oakley and now John Starks diving into the front row.
Well, you know, this is the kind of thing visually that gives you the feeling that the Knicks have 7 players on the court and the Bucks only have 5. I mean, the Knicks just own the situation.
Another steal. Looked like it was pass to Anthony Mason. Lee Mayberry is in for Milwaukee. Big rebound by Kenny Norman.
Pat Riley wasn't happy with that. Mason took the ball down court all by himself and forced the play. Took a very wild shot for him.
It's Mayberry. A lot on that pass for Norman. Then Baker in trouble. 5 on the 24. Blue Edwards. Another Knick rebound. Breaking behind the Buck defense is Anthony Bonner. Another assist for Doc Rivers. 4 assists for Doc.
I have to think Mike Dunleavy, who is a wild competitor like Pat Riley, is sick to his stomach right now.
And the Knicks are playing on the back end of a 2-game and 2-night stretch. 5 minutes and 41 seconds without a field goal. That's how the Bucks concluded quarter number 1. Total Knick domination and a big lead.
We'd like to clarify the date on the YMCA sports auction once again. It's December 2nd, 5:30 p.m.
Knicks ending quarter number 1 on a 17-1 run or a 14-0 run. John, which would you prefer, 17-1 or 14-0?
14-0.
Okay. 8 turnovers, only part of the Bucks' problems so far. The Knicks are just outrunning them. Greg Anthony off the bench after an impressive performance in last night's victory over the Indiana Pacers. It is Anthony Bonner with Starks, Oakley, and Tony Campbell as well. Todd Day accelerating through. So the Bucks score the first points as the Bucks show mild pressure. The Knicks have been able to beat that easily so far, and Anthony Bonner is often flying. It is Starks and Bonner so far for the Knicks.
There was classic confusion between Day and Blue Edwards as to who was picking up who, and in that moment of confusion, the Knicks scored.
Again, Day. All Knicks underneath. Even Tony Campbell, small forward spot. Pat Riley wants to see a few more rebounds from there, and Campbell grabbed that one. Campbell, screen, Bonner, quick look. Blue Edwards blocked Tony Campbell's first shot of the game. Here's Day again, and he just runs all the way through John Starks, who draws his second offensive foul of the night.
Day was really moving too. Look at Starks down in the defensive position, willing to take the charge and having the speed to stay in front of the offensive man. The essence of good defense, to stay in front of the offensive man.
And exactly what you said earlier, it looks here as though Day hasn't met a shot that he doesn't like.
Once he makes up his mind to go, he's going.
Hubert Davis in the game for the Knicks. John Starks heard it from the crowd. Anthony for Oakley. Davis with 15 points in last night's win. Greg Anthony, more in than out, and finally out. 34-18. It's been all Knicks. Anthony guarding Mayberry. Campbell on Blue Edwards. Bonner with Burkowski. Mayberry driving on Anthony. Oh, he was right with him. But the foul is called. First on Anthony. Charles Oakley gets a breather. Herb Williams returns. Oakley hearing it from the crowd. He leaves. 2 points, 3 assists, but a lot of what he 3 rebounds rather. A lot of what he has done has been defensively shutting down a lot of the setups down low that Milwaukee has tried.
This young man could be starting on many NBA teams, but Eric Murdoch won the job and he retains it. But Mayberry has a bright future in the NBA. Terrific speed and an outstanding defender.
Knicks call out a play, and Greg Anthony will start it. It's Hubert Davis's number. Way off. Bonner couldn't get it. Derek Strong off the bench for Milwaukee. He wears number 20. Blue Edwards is off. Gets his own rebound. Quick look. Campbell and Hubert Davis team up to steal it away. Hubert rocks it in.
I love watching him shoot, Al. He missed the last one bad. He must have been distracted or lost sight of the basket, but fortunately gets his hands on the ball again. Once he gets the ball on a regular basis, the guy doesn't miss.
And more, John, he is looking to me like the player the Knicks had hoped in terms of what he's delivering to this team that Rolando Blackman was going to be when they got him.
Absolutely.
36-22. Campbell. Traveling is called. A rare Knick turnover. They've committed only 4 to 10 for Milwaukee. Another pick by Derek Strong. Blue Edwards. Guarded by Campbell. He spins inside and draws the foul.
The Bucks play without a classic center. Burkowski, their big man, is more comfortable working out of the corner, as is Lojas when he comes into the game. And as a result, the middle is always open, and they get a lot of running and offensive moves in the direction of the basket from outside. There's a constant flow of motion toward the basket.
The Avent returns to the lineup for Milwaukee. Derek Strong with a brief visit. So Blue Edwards with one more. He has the same now look, John, that Greg Anthony has. Curtis Bunn reporting in the Daily News today using his opinion, as he is wont to do, that it was a bad haircut.
Yeah, he criticized Greg's haircut. We noted it last night when the game began in Indiana that Greg had gotten lighter.
Anthony loses his man, misses the shot. Burkowski pulls up over Hubert Davis.
Greg had a bad decision on that play. He got by his man, got in to take the shot, but he was all of a sudden looking at a man 6'10", and he decided to try and shoot the jumper over him, and he was too close to him.
For the record, Frank Burkowski's jump shot puts him at 6,000 career points. Tony Campbell hits. So, John, if you're a hunter, he's a 6,000 point buck.
Oh, wow.
Almost unheard of.
Oh, reaching.
Reaching 6,000.
Yeah.
Here's Burkowski again. Lee Mayberry. He'll take that shot. He'll hit that shot. And, you know, the Knicks had the easy lead. Second quarter started. The game was entirely theirs, but you know, you lead by 20. It's almost assured that in an average NBA game, the other team will get a run at you, and you will feel the pressure of the game. And right now it is 38-29. The lead back to single digits again. Campbell through the legs of Herb Williams. Did not expect it. Bucks enjoying a 9-2 run now, and Pat Riley wants a little bit more punch inside. Anthony Mason gets the call, and Anthony Bonner, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the floor, and he was running. Mayberry uses his hand to reach around Anthony, but Anthony is called for the foul. Timeout on the floor, 6:53 to go. It is the Knicks 38, Bucks 29. Patrick Ewing misses his first game since last February.
Follow up on a terrific effort last night. We noted a shot he missed badly when he got in the game. Take a look at why he missed it so badly. Watch the defender's hand. That's enough to distract any shooter. That's why coaches always scream to players on defense to get their hands up.
Hubert Davis shooting better than 52% on the season so far. Rakowski with a brick. Stolen by Avent. Drops it off to Mayberry. Confusion for the Bucks on offense, but forget the confusion. They get the hoop, and it's a 7-point ball game. Knicks at one point had a 16-point lead. This is an 11-2 run by Milwaukee.
Greg Anthony on that jump shot. He hit a couple last night, shooting with more confidence now.
Rakowski. Herb Williams with the rebound.
The Knicks are not moving the ball up court like they were in the first quarter when they absolutely were exploding up court.
Hubert Davis, the fake, the hoop. Oh, the pace of the game is dramatically different.
Part of that too, Al, is the rebounding force that Oakley presented, and the pitch outs, and of course the energy level that John Starks brought here tonight.
Day faking right, going left. Day with 8 points, 4 of 6 shooting. He's leading the way for Milwaukee. Lee Mayberry has 7. So does Anthony Avent. Alley-oop, Campbell.
That's a terrific play between Tony Campbell and Herb Williams. And Tony was right in the right spot, and Herb saw him. Herb also saw the defense sleeping.
Well, Day seems to be the go-to man for Milwaukee right now, and that suits him just fine.
Todd Day at 6'6" is an electric scorer. When he gets going, he has tremendous range, and he loves to shoot.
Davis draws a crowd. Anthony breaks free. Knicks are not pounding the boards as they were in the opening quarter. Oh my goodness. He's taking every shot up the floor, Todd Day. He's going to foul that time. John Starks returns. Greg Anthony getting his 3rd personal foul. Charles Oakley is back. Doc Rivers gets up off the bench with that foul call. He'll replace Greg Anthony. So the Knick lineup is Oakley, Williams, Mason, Rivers, Starks. The starting lineup for the Knicks back out on the floor. Williams, good defense on Rakowski. They're the 2 centers out there right now. That's a good-looking move by Frank Rakowski.
That's the 3rd time Rakowski's gone to the left hand, but the first time he's made it.
Allen scoring for the Bucks. Rakowski with 7. 3 Bucks with 7 right now. Knicks being led by John Starks. 16 points in the first quarter. Anthony Bonner with 10 off the bench. Starks for 3 more. Second 3-pointer for John Starks.
It's just remarkable how he can come off the bench after a few minutes and have the touch from such a long range.
This unit would love nothing better than to show the Garden crowd that they can reclaim the lead as they did in the opening quarter.
Well, here they go, Al.
Starks driving on Mayberry. 3.5 to go in the first half. Illegal defense called against Milwaukee. That's their first infraction. And a technical foul has been charged to Todd Day. Jess Kersey calling the technical foul on Todd Day. He seems mystified. It'll be taken by John Starks.
John shooting his foul shots at 96%. You mentioned the streak before, Al.
Thanks, John. You did it now. I was going to wait until after it was done. It's over at 24 straight.
Well, I feel so bad now, Al. I don't know what to say. I'm okay now.
Oakley for Rivers. Herb Williams to the basket. Line drive shot. Rakowski for Day. Dribbles around Starks, beats Rivers, and makes it a 47-39 game. Doc Rivers beating Lee Mayberry. Draws the foul. The basket will not count. Break on the floor at Madison Square Garden. Knicks 47, Bucks 30.
Big game for the Milwaukee Bucks last year against the Knicks.
John Starks spins away from Todd Day. Now draws Blue Edwards. 2:35 to go. Mason, nice save. Starks draws the foul. Doc Rivers was wide open on the other side of the floor. May have been a tough pass for Starks to think about. Foul on Blue Edwards, his first. After the Starks miss, we could have mentioned the 97 consecutive free throw streak of Michael Williams, which is now being challenged by Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf of Denver, previously known as Chris Jackson. Denver in action tonight hosting Golden State.
At last count, he had made 76 straight.
Third foul on that man, Frank Rakowski. And Mike Dunleavy goes to the bench, and Ken Norman. Rakowski from Locust Valley High School, one-time draft pick of the New York Knicks. Mason. Doc Rivers. Doc fell off balance. It's a Ken Norman rebound.
Well, he's indicating he was fouled.
The Garden is very quiet. Knicks once leading by 16. And Anthony Avent will give the Bucks another chance.
At the end of the first quarter was 32-16.
Murdoch. Oh, Mayberry, or Murdoch rather.
You see, with the long shots that the Bucks are putting up, the tendency therefore is to have long rebounds. And it's difficult for the Knick big men to adjust to that or to deal with it right now because the ball is flying out of their reach.
John, you see such a drastic change in the Knicks again going to their starters compared to what they were able to do in the first quarter, and it screams out adjustment of some kind. Has there been an adjustment, or have the Knicks just not maintained their level of intensity?
Well, John Starks personally pushed the Knicks to that lead with his wild play. But I don't think that the Knicks are owning the boards quite as much as they were in the opening moments. The Bucks were missing. The Knicks were turning those misses right into points with their fast breaking. And it's just gone down a notch now.
Pressure by the Bucks. They were able to beat it. The Knicks were in the first quarter with ease. Here's Starks again. Williams, the reverse. He drops it in. It's 49-40 with 95 seconds to go in the half.
Simple fact, Al, we're talking about defenders staying in front of offensive players. The fact is the Bucks cannot stay in front of John Starks. He is going by everybody.
And he's going at it right now with Todd Day defensively. And Day draws another foul.
Starks is talking a Day. Oakley realizing that pushes him away. Day likes to talk too. He's already gotten a technical foul. John Starks is getting a little bit of a warning now. A lot of banging going on. Day is 6'6", Starks 2 inches shorter. Starks felt he got the ball, but he got a little arm as well.
John, I thought that was one of the few downsides of last night's win in Indiana, was that the Pacers came out of that game finding out once again that if they talk and play hard, they can get the Knicks to a point where they get emotionally involved vocally, and it cost them. Starks fouling out with just over 4 minutes to go in a game in which the Knicks were playing without Patrick Ewing and Charles Smith. Timeout with 1:20 to go. Knicks 49 and the Bucks 40. Well, a very important showdown tonight for the Rangers as they take on the Washington Capitals, the two hot teams in the NHL. It's back at home at Rangers and Sharks tomorrow night. All fans in attendance receive a Rangers team poster courtesy of Reese Restaurants. Tickets on sale by calling the Garden box office or by calling Ticketmaster 307-7171. After one period at the U.S. Air Arena, the Rangers are up 2-0. A couple of very small Patrick Ewing fans. John, are you going to watch the marathon?
Oh, no teeth either. What a great looking fan. Am I going to watch what, Al? I'm sorry. Was
the marathon, John?
I certainly am.
Okay. I'm surprised you're not running it.
Oh, I dream about it every year. George Vesey wrote a great column the other day in the New York Times about wanting to do it but never doing it. I'm in that crowd.
Big rejection by Anthony Avent on Anthony Mason. Day tries to beat Starks. He's met by Oakley and Mason. Knicks running. Starks battling Avent, and it will be Nick Ball. Bucks are furious, but it will belong to the Knicks with 56.2 to go. Starks looks for Williams, followed by Oakley, and a foul.
John's change of deception and ability to explode is something else tonight. He just cannot be contained. He slows up, then he turns it on and bursts right around Day, draws all the attention. That's the kind of playmaking guards make night in and night out, where they are able to get around the defense, draw the attention of big people, and set up their teammates, in this case Herb Williams.
Herb Williams misses on the second. Those only the third and fourth free throws by the Knicks in the game. The Milwaukee Bucks have taken 11, and one for the Knicks was a technical foul. Going down hard is Eric Murdoch. Foul is on Oakley, number 2 for him.
Eric Murdoch has found a home in Milwaukee. Solid move by him. Went to the left hand, got rocked by Charles Oakley. He was an understudy to John Stockton at the Utah Jazz in his first year, which very simply meant he didn't play. And Milwaukee saw something they liked in his game, and he has taken over that point guard's role. He was one of the league leaders in assists last year in the NBA in only his second season.
Pat Riley doesn't want to risk a third foul to Charles Oakley, so he is removed for Anthony Bonner, and Vin Baker of Hartford returns for another stint in this game. Eric Murdoch on the line with 34.2 seconds to go. Murdoch makes it 50-43 Knicks. Bucks should get another possession out of this first half. Starks, globetrotter on that possession. It is the last chance for Milwaukee. Kenny Norman is off. Herb Williams has the rebound slapped away. The Knicks will get possession with 2.4 seconds to go. Very different first half when you compare the first quarter to the second. the Bucks definitely regaining their composure in quarter number 2. Bonner for Rivers, and Doc can't get a shot off. The Knicks leading at one point by 16 go to the locker room leading 50-43. Remember, they're doing it without Patrick Ewing out with a strained muscle in his neck, listed as day-to-day. When we come back, we'll get the latest from Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk, and then
Patrick Ewing, they lead at the half 50-43 over the Milwaukee Bucks. It was a big first quarter for New York. They forced 8 turnovers. They finished the quarter on a 14-0 run, and at the half, John Starks leads New York with 19 points. Right now to Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk.
All right, thanks very much, Bruce. The Nets are entertaining the Sean Bradleys at the Meadowlands at this hour. New Jersey exploded out of the gate to lead 34-16 after one quarter and now lead at 58-46 at halftime. Kenny Anderson in fine form. Freddie Carter may be thinking about putting the laces up and getting the sneakers on to help out. His team has had tremendous trouble this year. Kenny Anderson running the break beautifully to Armand Gilliam, the former Sixer, who finishes it off. 40-21 was the score in the second quarter. Kenny celebrates that one. And then later on, from Mario Robinson in the corner, it goes to Ron Anderson, the former Sixer, who hits a jump shot to make it 44-23. Again, a 12-point lead for the Nets at halftime. Notre Dame laid claim to the #1 ranking in college football, shattering Florida State's 16-game winning streak, 31-24 at South Bend. The Noles had outscored opponents 329-48 in the first 9 games of the season, but they fell behind and could not recover today. Jeff Burris had 2 touchdowns. Lee Becton led the Irish running attack with 126 yards. That was the difference. The Irish were able to run the ball, and they knock off Florida State. Bobby Bowden had been 9-3 in big games before this, and his team seemed unbeatable through 9 games, but Jeff Burris in the fourth quarter broke through. Great blocking, 7 minutes left, 11 yards, 31-17. Charlie Ward wasn't done, however. He brought his team back. 4th and goal. He fires. It's deflected and caught by Kez McCarvey. 31-24, just under 3 minutes remaining. Lou Holtz, Notre Dame, couldn't hold on to it. Ward got one more chance. They got down to the 14-yard line. Final play, and it is knocked down by Sean Wooden. Matt Fryer was open near the end zone. Ward couldn't find him. Charlie Ward and the Noles lose it 31-24. Big East football today. Miami holds on to beat Rutgers. They had all kinds of trouble down in the Orange Bowl. 31-17. They remain ranked number 3. West Virginia big over Temple, 49-7. Darren Stutzel had 3 touchdown passes in that one. Boston College has won 7 in a row. They go to Notre Dame next week. Glenn Foley with 3 touchdowns. And the Hokies of Virginia Tech crushed Syracuse 45-24. We'll have more in a moment. Stay with us.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
It stretches from Boston to Los Angeles, from Miami to Seattle. By any terms, this country is a pretty big place. And now through December 15th, American Express card members can visit all or part of it in a pretty big car. Just $44 a day for a Cadillac Sedan DeVille with unlimited free mileage when you rent from Alamo with the American Express card. Making it a pretty good time to get out and stretch your legs and perhaps your imagination.
You've never seen a camcorder like the Sharp View Cam. The viewfinder gone, replaced with this LCD view screen. You're right in the action. Gretzky scores? Let's go to the replay. Then, play it back instantly with color and sound. Want to see that again?
The Sharp View Cam, an absolute original.
So your first goal, Ty, and birthdays, graduations, your wedding, your kids, my grandchildren.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products.
A golden opportunity for the Rangers to seize the Atlantic Division lead tonight in Landover after both the Flyers and Devils lost this afternoon on our MSG2 service. The Rangers, as the second period gets underway, lead 2-0. Sergei Nemchinov had scored the first goal, and then shorthanded Kevin Lowe and Mike Gartner combined on the rebound. Gartner beats Rick Tabarachi, his 10th of the year. That made it 2-0, and that's where they stand as they go to the second period. We'll go back to the Knicks and the Bucks on our MSG service after these messages.
If you were to take every article, every review, every honor, every award, everything possible positive people have had to say about the Toyota Camry and put it on a wall, you'd need a very big wall. And now there's the new 1994 Toyota Camry with dual airbags, a new V6, and built in America. Imagine the wall we're going to need for that.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Negative.
To save pennies per call on your 800 service, would you risk losing sales?
No way.
No. Not a chance.
That's what over 9 out of 10 800 users we surveyed said. Introducing Maximum Advantage from AT&T. Now you can automatically get AT&T's lowest price guaranteed on the most reliable 800 service in the business. Know anyone who can beat that?
No.
Maximum Advantage from AT&T, the best in the business.
New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
Catch a full recap of the Yankees' exciting season and a look to '94 with the Yankees postseason review knocking at the door. Tonight at 10, here on MSG Network.
Buying a house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make. And with today's interest rates being so low, now is the time to buy or refinance a home. But there are so many questions to be answered. Can I afford a new home? What type of mortgage do I need? How can I lower my monthly payments? Experts agree that whenever possible, a fixed-rate loan is the most secure loan you can get. With a fixed-rate loan, you'll know in advance what your payments will be every month. Why risk having your monthly payments go up unexpectedly?
But finding a low fixed-rate mortgage isn't so easy.
It is now. Just call 1-800-FIXED-RATE. That's right. When you call 1-800-FIXED-RATE, you'll be speaking with experts in the mortgage field who will help you with the many aspects of buying or refinancing a home, including getting you a low fixed-rate loan that could dramatically lower your monthly payments.
We called 1-800-FIXED-RATE and found out we could afford our own home.
And we got an excellent rate.
Time is running out for you to take advantage of today's low interest rates. So call 1-800-FIXED-RATE today.
Halftime at the Garden. The Knicks lead the Bucks 50-43. The leading score summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. John Stark, big first quarter, finished with 19. Anthony Bonner off the bench, had 10 points. He's in double figures as well. For the Bucks, Todd Day, he was on fire in that first half of play, finished with 13, and then a trio of players with 7 points for Milwaukee. Bruce Beck with Walt Clyde Frazier, and in that first half of play, John Starks could not guard Todd Day, and Todd Day could not guard John Starks.
You're right, it was a John Starks show the first quarter, so Starkey off to an auspicious start drilling from the perimeter, but in the second quarter, it was Day that propelled the Bucks back into the game.
No Patrick Ewing tonight for the New York Knicks. Still plenty of highlights in that first half of play, and the highlights are brought to you by Minolta, creators of the world's most responsive SLR cameras, the new Maxim XI series. Starks in transition, Clyde.
Starks last season, all defensive team, second team, now driving and thriving to be an all-star. That time, poor D by the Bucks.
Like the left hand as well. What about the offensive board work by Bonner and by Oakley?
This play indicative of the Knicks' offensive rebounding all season. They've been averaging almost 20 rebounds on the offense. So here an orgy of rebounding, and Bonner coming up with the hoop.
You want to talk about a slasher? Let's talk about Todd Day.
Todd Day, 6'6", about 200 pounds. Eccentric, enigmatic, but can be dramatic. A nice move here. Watch the Matador D by the Knicks.
It's early in the season, but you're on top of your game, Clyde. And here's Lee Mayberry, his former backcourt mate at Arkansas.
Yeah, Mayberry, I like him as a point guard, Bruce. 6'1", 175. He looks to pass first, but here he had the shot.
So there's a look at some first half action. The Knicks have the advantage by 7. They had a bigger lead at the end of the first quarter, but it is tough to hold teams the entire ball game in the NBA. Back with more in just a moment.
Get ready for the action, the suspense, the excitement, and the drama of the Virginia Slims Championships, starting Monday at 7 here on MSG.
To an athlete, a world championship is the highlight of a career. I'm Dave DeBuscher, and 20 years ago, my teammates and I, the 1973 New York Knicks, won the NBA World Championship. And now, true Knicks fans everywhere can share that moment with those championship seasons. An NBA licensed, limited edition, hand-signed lithograph featuring my friends, teammates, and Hall of Famers. Walt Clyde Frazier, the captain, Willis Reed, Luke, Jerry Lucas, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Coach Red Holzman, myself, Dave DeBuscher, and distinguished American Dollar Bill Bradley, whose autograph is nearly impossible to obtain.
To order, call 800-453-1818 now. Each lithograph comes with a notarized certificate of authenticity bearing photos of all 7 members signing the piece. Order during tonight's game and get $100 off. Then Sunday, December 5th, meet Dave DeBuscher at our sports gallery in Great Neck. Call or visit our gallery now.
Whether you're a Knicks fan, collector, or investor, this is one piece you must buy.
Franklin Square Ford, we believe that good customer service begins with a discount price, and keeping you happy after the sale becomes our singular goal. Like servicing your car when you want it serviced. You'll never have to make another service appointment, and we'll see to it that you never wait longer than 30 minutes for your car. We feel that the best way to serve your family begins with our family. So come for a visit. Let us show you why Franklin Square Ford is sure to become Long Island's favorite Ford dealer.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. By MetLife. Get Met. It pays. And by Coca-Cola Classic. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola.
New York Knicks 50, Milwaukee Bucks 43 at the break. Knicks looking to go 6-0 and playing tonight without Patrick Ewing. Right now, back to Al Trotwig and John Andres.
Hi, Bruce. We'll examine first the halftime stat sheet, as is the tradition. You'll see right off the bat that the Knicks are doing it from the floor, no doubt about it.
Also, they're doing it at both ends, Al. We must point out that the Bucks are only shooting 43%. That's excellent team defense by the Knicks. Bucks did a good job, though, coming back. I mean, they were blown out of here in the first quarter. When the quarter ends, or the half ends, they're out rebounding the Knicks.
Yeah, on the bench doing it once again on a night the Knicks play without Patrick Ewing. The bench answers with 20 points. Charles Smith did not accompany the Knicks on the road. He's resting his left knee. He'll be evaluated early in the week. Patrick Ewing is day-to-day. He's having trouble looking from side to side. Had some spasming with the neck after the flagrant foul from Rick Smits last night at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. And he's got a smile and an ear for Jess Kersey as we get set for the second half to begin.
A rare sight to see Patrick so animated, particularly in the direction of an official. We call that a very positive response, Al.
The Virginia Slims Championships are coming to the Garden November 15th through the 21st. Eligible to compete are the top 16 women's tennis players: Steffi Graf, Martina, Gabriella Sabatini. There's the number for tickets. Garden box office is also the place where you can find a way for yourself to attend the Virginia Slims Tennis Championships here at the Garden. So we begin. For the Knicks, it is the same lineup that started the game. Herb Williams in place of Patrick Ewing. Frank Burkowski is the middleman for Milwaukee. Todd Day, so active in the second quarter, picks up right where he left off. Day now with 15 points. Day is also picking up his defense on John Starks. Got to think he heard from Mike Dunleavy in a timeout in the first half. Oakley is off. That'll be a push off by Anthony Mason as he battled Anthony Avent for the rebound. Second foul on Anthony Mason. Knicks 50, the Bucks 45. A 16-point lead has been whittled down slowly but surely since the conclusion of the first quarter.
And it's not really a reflection of the Knicks going flat as much as it is the Bucks continuing to compete and the Knicks just going down a notch. But the Knicks certainly didn't die in the second quarter.
Kenny Norman comes to life. Better than 20 points a game for Milwaukee in their 5-game NBA season. He's got 6. Fans getting a little restless as the Knicks lead is only 3. Starks bounces one over the backboard, and Milwaukee will get the ball back. Knicks looking to go 6-0. Milwaukee, in their 25 years in the NBA, the third most successful franchise behind the Lakers and the Celtics, but they're coming off 2 bad losing seasons, and they're off to a 1-4 start. Starks from Oakley. Oakley almost got the follow. Brakowski bothered John Starks just enough, and he's staring down the officials. He thought there should have been a foul. Murdoch beats Rivers. Hoists up a shot that Anthony Mason grabs.
Looks like Herb Williams might have got his fingers on that shot.
Brakowski almost wins that one with a steal, but Herb Williams goes glass.
Tough move. 6'11" Herb Williams.
5 points, 4 rebounds for Herb Williams, starting for Patrick Ewing. Knicks led by John Starks, 19 points, Anthony Bonner 10. Murdoch for Brakowski. Quick look for Norman. Big follow by Anthony Avent. Battle underneath. It's Murdoch. A lot of chances for the Bucks. And it will be Milwaukee ball.
The problem there for the Knicks, Al, once again coming to haunt the Knicks, is that they're not making an attempt to box out. So if you're in a jumping contest with somebody, even you may have the physical superiority, but if they can jump higher than you, they're going to hurt you, and that's what the Bucks are doing now.
Avent. Ooh, that was a good poke by Doc Rivers, but they whistled the foul.
That's one of those, and it happens all the time on every level of basketball. If you reach around the offensive player, the official feels there's a foul. You'll see Doc Rivers reaching right in there. It looked like he had all ball on that play. That was really a good play by Rivers, but the aggressive act of reaching out as the man moves toward the basket encourages the foul call.
Anthony Avent on the free throw line, a 70% free throw shooter at Seton Hall. Last year in the NBA's first season, he shot 65% from the free throw line. Hits them both here, and it is 52-49 Knicks.
The Bucks leading rebounder last year as well.
Starks pestered by Day. Williams pestered by Brakowski. Bucks very active, and it pays off. Norman feeds Murdoch, and Norman is there for the follow. And a 20-second timeout has been called. A rocky beginning to the second half for the Knicks. The lead is just about all gone now. It's 52-51.
Well, after that first quarter when the Knicks blew out the Milwaukee Bucks, Al, I think what the Knicks have done in a special Saturday night treat is made an attempt to make this game more interesting for the fans, because it got boring after 32-16. Now Pat Riley's going to have to earn his pay for the night and start doing a lot of thinking, starting to get his team to box out a little bit more, so a lot of those easy hoops don't continue to hurt the Knicks.
Knicks have done an extremely good job in their first 5 games of coming out of the locker room strong. This is one of the rare times that you'll see them come out of the locker room as flat as they are, flat as compared to how this unit played in the first quarter. Bucks getting the job done with the offensive rebounds, 11-5. Rivers collides with Murdoch. Mason. Rivers.
Oh, what a tough shot. He took a little shot on that field goal attempt as well.
8.5 to go in quarter number 3. Anthony Avent over Oakley, and a foul. That'll be foul number 3 on Charles Oakley.
Charles is mystified by that call. Looked like Avent got away from Oakley. Foul, however, was not on Charles Oakley, but it was on Anthony Mason.
Avent back to the line again.
You know, Al, I'm looking at the box score here again for the first half and seeing John Starks having 19 of the Knicks 50. You know, it just reminds me of something that seems to happen time and time again in basketball, and that is when one man takes over the offense, it's so difficult for the other players to get into the flow. And yet you can't criticize what Starks did. He was outstanding. He did a great job. But now the other Knicks players have to find their way into the game on the offensive end of the court.
Well, it's sometimes what this team faces when Patrick Ewing is playing. The Bucks have definitely turned it up defensively on Starks. Oakley just missed the tap follow. And now Milwaukee looking like the Knicks of the first quarter. Avent almost went up. Herb Williams finally pulls it down. Day, I don't know how he fit between the bench and its last seat and the advertising board, but he did. He could have really gotten hurt. Tough position for Day to be in.
Big effort by Todd Day. Fortunately, he's a very thin guy.
Very agile. 3 of 11, 2 of 6, neither good, but the 11 opportunity shows how Milwaukee's hustling on the boards. Doc Rivers again for New York, 56-52.
Rivers stepping up his offensive interest now, sensing that the team needs him to do more scoring with Ewing out.
Rivers with 6.
Todd Day trying to take advantage of his height over Starks. Starks banging him hard.
Bukowski, an air ball. It is Knick ball. Bukowski jumps out. Rivers goes right at him. Hang time.
Well, it's been a while since Doc Rivers has become a main offensive threat, but he is certainly doing it here in the third quarter.
6:43 to go. The Knicks up by 6.
Keep it coming on. Keep it on, keep it on. Keep it on, keep it coming on. Keep it on. Keep it coming on.
Knicks City Dancers very much in sync.
Rocking here at the Guard now.
Knicks back in sync courtesy of Doc Rivers. He has hit 3 jumpers. Their lead is 6. Charles Oakley guarding Anthony Avent, and a great steal by Rivers, sneaking up behind. Starks back for Doc. We're almost the midway point in quarter number 3. Starks. He's got the range again. 3-pointer for John Starks, his 3rd of the game. Knicks back up by 9. .22 points now for John Starks. 10 on the 24-second clock. Frank Bukowski rattles one in.
Oakley becoming aware of boxing out. He gave Avent a tough time.
Knicks post up Anthony Mason. He kicks it for Starks. 2-point attempt. Bukowski there for the rebound.
It is time to start exchanging the ball at the other end of the court for the Knicks instead of looking for the quick jumpers.
Poked away from behind by Doc Rivers. Doc has been busy. Lee Mayberry back into the game, replacing Eric Murdoch as Mike Dunleavy switches point guards. Mayberry did a good job off the bench with 7 points in the first half. And and the 24-second clock expires. Bucks didn't seem like they were aware at all that the seconds were counting down. At the last moment, you heard someone yell, "Shoot it," from the Bucks bench, but it was too late.
Starks posting up Day now. Now he works outside.
John, good look for Williams.
You know what's nice about Williams' response there? He started to go up as if he was going to take a short jumper, but then he drifted right into the basket, almost turned it into a layup. Good instincts by him.
Quiet but solid performance by Herb Williams tonight. 7 points, 5 rebounds. Knicks on a 9-2 run. Williams out high against Brakowski. Rivers slaps it away from Norman. 4 on the 24-second clock. 2.
Mason put Norman under great pressure.
Herb Williams with a big rebound. He's come to life. Starks for Rivers. And Mason now. Oakley goes up strong and draws the foul.
Herb Williams takes such pleasure in throwing the pass from out high. He did it last night. The fans now, as Herb is being replaced by Anthony Bonner, are recognizing Herb Williams a standing ovation. Nice to see. Good pass from Herb Williams into Oakley.
Williams leaving with 7 points, 6 rebounds, and a couple of passes that showed he has eyes for those who are open. Charles Oakley at the free throw line. Charles Smith and Patrick Ewing are having a great time tonight.
Patrick's having a regular smile fest, isn't he?
Or as Clyde said at halftime, John, an orgy of smiles. Oakley hits them both. He's shooting 72% from the free throw line on the season, and the Knicks lead it 65-54, back to double digits now. Bonner all over Brakowski. Knicks defense in the last 4 or 5 Buck possessions has been something to watch. Foul on John Starks, his second. And the Bucks will inbound and get a fresh 24-second clock. It was down to 10 on that possession. Mason up on Norman. Starks on Day. Offensive foul on Frank Brakowski. And I think Jess Kersey has called a technical foul. He has. Frank Brakowski called for his 4th foul and a technical. It is the 2nd technical in the game charged against Milwaukee. Starks to the line. 66-54. Checking into the game is Derek Strong for the Milwaukee Bucks. Brakowski will sit with 4. Knicks ball with 3:38 to go in the 3rd. A very good response by the Knicks from about the 8-minute mark after the Bucks came out of the locker room and we're doing the right things. Anthony Bonner wide open. He's having a night to remember at the Garden.
Al, the story of the 3rd quarter is Doc Rivers' leadership. Knicks now on a 14-2 run. Doc Rivers came out, hit his own shots, and is doing a terrific job distributing the basketball here.
And the Knicks as a team are shooting 53% and credit their defense with holding the Bucks to 39% from the floor.
I mean, when you look at the 5 Knicks players on the floor and you realize who's making it happen, it points to Rivers.
Norman guarded by Mason. Strong, a free agent acquisition by the Milwaukee Bucks, goes down low to Avent. Huge rebound by Bonner. He went flying through everybody. Starks breaks out of the pack. He wants it all. He's got it.
Well, Kenny Norman enjoyed that. he stood there and watched John Starks dribble right toward him and up over him.
25 points for John Starks. Oakley shuts down Avent. And a 3-second violation against the Milwaukee Bucks. 15 turnovers now for Milwaukee. In the third quarter, the Knicks outscoring the Bucks by 9. Timeout at the Garden. Knicks back in control.
Has been Doc Rivers. Now it's John Starks. How about this rebound by Bonner? Loses his balance and still is able to get the ball successfully to Starks. John puts his head down. Watch Norman. He just check it out. Very nice, John. Oops. John's on the opposition, Ken. You might want to think about stopping him next time.
John Starks with the ball again. He's 2 points away from his season's best game. 27 against the Bullets on Wednesday night. Oh, man, he's tied it. That's 27 against his previous season high. 27. It is a 72-54 Knick lead. Bucks throw it away. Derek Strong is down. Looks like he may have done something to his left ankle. Well, they're going to walk it off.
He was banging real hard with Anthony Bonner. Both these guys fighting for position. Bonner kind of side swipes Strong and drives him to the ground. I mean, this is off the ball play. This is why players spend a lot of time in the weight room in the NBA these days. There's so much physical contact.
Anthony Bonner off the Doc Rivers miss.
You notice how Bonner's demeanor is after he does something positive? He's impassive. No rejoicing, no big smiles, no glaring. He just does the job.
Follow inside. Knicks, Bucks battling, bodies colliding. Doc Rivers bursts from the pack for Bonner. Oh! Anthony Bonner!
You know what he did so well? He ran, and he got ahead of Doc Rivers, and Rivers picked him up.
Blue Edwards, he's tangled up. It falls, and it'll count. To go back to the Anthony Bonner layup, it is not a flash-in-the-pan move. He's been having this kind of a game in every minute that he's been playing.
Moments ago, Doc Rivers with the ball. Down the hoop goes the ball with Anthony Bonner following up that ball as it kissed off the rim off that miss by Doc Rivers.
Bonner's now with 16 points. This reminds me so much, John, of how the second quarter went, really, or the first quarter rather, when Milwaukee in the first few minutes played it strong, and then suddenly the Knicks taking control in a very similar fashion. Rivers for Mason. This unit is functioning as smoothly as they can right now.
Now what Bonner did was quite something. He was fighting for position, and Norman, who's looks like he's taller than Bonner, was just pushed, moved right out of the play by Bonner, and Bonner got the ball beautifully from outside.
Lee Mayberry, all net. Knicks will play it for one, perhaps. Yes, they will. They have exploded to reclaim the lead. Oakley sets the screen. And a foul. Brad Lohaus returns. You know, it's unbelievable. Milwaukee was within 1 point in the early minutes of this third quarter. The 24-6 run since that moment. Doc Rivers, little off, but Oakley is there as the third quarter comes to a close. Yes, it looks like the Knicks definitely want to go 6-0, 78-59.
Welcome back to the Garden. If the Knicks win tonight, they will set a franchise record most victories to start a season with 6-0. the previous mark held by the 69-70 championship Knicks, coached by Red Holtzman. Hey, Red, you know that team was special when you started off so quickly?
Well, we thought we were pretty good, but I didn't realize we were setting any kind of record, though.
You know, also this week, 21 years ago, that great comeback against the Milwaukee Bucks. What were your memories?
Well, that was a great thing. Of course, everything had to fall into place, and we had to get a few breaks, but that's just a great team doing what they can do and do it well.
Thoughts on the unselfishness of this Knicks ball club?
Well, they are unselfish, and that's, of course, attributed to Pat Riley, because he won't stand for anything less than perfection, and he knows that unselfishness is very important if you're going to be a big winner.
What do you think of this club's defense?
Well, we certainly showed it tonight and every other night. We seem to have a little trouble with our offense. The defense sustains us, and then we come on and pull it through.
The architect of two Knicks World Championship teams, William Red Holtzman. Back to you, Al.
All right, Bruce. And Red, of course, is currently an advisor to the Knicks. And one of the interesting things, John, was that the Knicks, when they won their 5th straight in 1969, did it in the middle of October. So the schedule and everything has changed dramatically.
It's nice to hear Red say we. As you point out, Al, Red is still considered important to this franchise.
John Starks thinking three. All Knicks underneath. Anthony Bonner having his best game as a Knick. Gets it back out to Starks. He challenges the entire Bucks team. John Starks, best game of the season. 31 points for John Starks. Make it 29 points.
When Mike Dunleavy shows his team the tapes of this game, there's going to be a lot of embarrassed Bucks. So many shots by Starks right in the face of the Bucks defenders standing, watching it happen.
Vin Baker scores and draws the foul. It was a wild sequence for the Bucks on offense, though. They were scrambling to make anything happen. Doc Rivers and John Starks both get a breather. Hubert Davis enters the game. So Pat Riley goes with Anthony Bonner, Charles Oakley, Tony Campbell, Greg Anthony, and Hubert Davis.
Now, there's no question, Al, when Starks left the lineup in the first half, the team got flat. So now it's the challenge of Greg Anthony and friends to sustain this situation. Points in the paint, as you can see, the Knicks dominating with 40-22 for the Bucks, and a lot of that is the layup shots that Starks has performed tonight.
Remember the Knicks doing that domination, or creating that domination, without Patrick Ewing in the lineup tonight. Kenny Norman. Vin Baker grabs the rebound. Brad Lohaus almost falling down. Good looking shot by Vin Baker, who's definitely got a lot of fans in the building tonight. 80-65, a 15-point lead. The Knicks led by as many as 22. This fourth quarter is beginning to look a little bit like the beginning of the second quarter, when the Bucks were able to get back into it. Greg Anthony on the reverse.
Fine move by Greg. He looked to set up his teammates, then went his own way quite successfully.
Mayberry gets away from Anthony on the dribble, finds Blue Edwards. Here's Charles Oakley. Oakley with rebound number 5. Campbell all alone.
That pitch out by Oakley reminded me of the days of Wes Unseld. That two-handed over-the-head pitch out after the rebound.
In hockey, they give that outlet man an assist as well. When it's that pass to another pass for a quick pass for a hoop. There's Vin Baker. They isolate with 2 on the 24. Did they get it off? They did. Blue Edwards is up, but Oakley's better than that for the rebound. Davis pulls up. Campbell battling, but it just does hit the end line.
Tony Campbell has become, no question about it, a more complete player as a member of the Knicks. When he joined this team, he was a scorer, period. But he has become someone who's very aware of the other aspects of the game that Pat Riley stresses, which is rebounding and defense.
Pat's demanded completeness of just about everyone. Vin Baker with another deuce. 84-67. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Al Troutwig for Marv Albert along with John Andres. Marv asked me to say, by the way, John, that the title of the book is I'd Love to, but I Have a Game.
I'd love to have been here. Well, we left him in Indiana now. The Jets game tomorrow. I told him he was going to come back Sunday night as a Hoosier.
Gilbert Davis. Well, the ball touched both hands as he traveled through the lane. Knicks back by 19 points in front. Mayberry around Anthony, drawing the foul inside. Checking back into the lane for Milwaukee is Todd Day. He's been the brightest spot offensively for the Bucks tonight with 15 points. After that, it's Anthony Avent's 10. Mayberry's 9. Frank Burkowski's 9 as well. Knicks getting 29 from John Starks, 16 by Anthony Bonner. Bonner with 9 rebounds to go with his 16 points. Here's Mayberry at the line.
One area of his game that must improve is his foul shooting. 57% last year as a rookie from the line.
Bucks under 40% from the floor. Bonner, Campbell. Oh, Anthony Bonner is having such a complete game, and now Tony Campbell is 2 points away from 7,000 in his career. Day passed the ball. Baker beaten to the ball by Greg Anthony. 6.5 to go.
What the Knicks got into last night in Indiana in a big-time way was their ball distribution. They're doing a nice job of that right now, exchanging the ball and sharing it amongst each other.
Anthony tried to follow up his shot, but commits a foul against Vin Baker. We have 6 minutes and 17 seconds to go. It is the Knicks up 20. Here in the fourth quarter has settled in and recontrolled the game to a 20-point lead. Vin Baker banging inside. He's had a strong fourth quarter, John. 10 points. Tony Campbell gets fouled, and he will have a chance to get career points 6,999 and career points 7,000 at the free throw line.
You know, Al, you see players come from major programs, young men who we see on television year after year in the NCAA tournament, and they come into the NBA and they have the shakes. Takes them a while to get into it. Here's a guy, Vin Baker, who played for University of Hartford. Not a major big-time schedule of competition, and he looks very comfortable out there. He doesn't look hesitant at all.
I'll tell you something. Vin Baker owes an awful lot. You know, he worked hard and made a name for himself, but the PR staff of Hartford went out of their way to make sure that virtually everyone in New York and in America knew who Vin Baker was. They sent highlights all over the place and called people to do stories, and he owes them an awful lot. He was helped out a lot by their PR machine up at Hartford to make it into the first round as high as he did.
Well, he's justifying it with his adjustment now to the NBA. He's already in the plans of Mike Dunleavy, and he's impressed in his limited time tonight. Meanwhile,
I mean, he had the ability. Don't get me wrong. He had the ability and deserved to be there, but he got a lot of help. Greg Anthony with 3 on the 24-second clock. Tony Campbell lost the handle, and here's Mayberry. Good-looking sequence for the Milwaukee Bucks. It is a 15-point Knick lead.
Mayberry at 6'1" just went up and soared for that dunk after a beautiful move on the prior hoop on Greg Anthony for a driving layup.
The whistle underneath. It is a foul against Brad Lohaus. Second on Lohaus. Knicks will inbound. Pat Riley going to his bench. John Starks getting set to return. He'll replace Hubert Davis. So the Knicks lineup now on the floor is Greg Anthony with John Starks, Oakley, Bonner, and Campbell.
Starks is out here to continue the business that he has brought to this game, and Pat Riley not happy with the 15-point lead.
Reignite the Knicks.
And that is what he's done all night. The Bucks have been held to 33% shooting in the second half tonight.
Bonner for Oakley, moving well and just missing a chance for a three-point play. Charles Oakley took that pass on the move, went right to the basket, and while his numbers have not been double-double like tonight, only 4 points and 8 rebounds, he has been an enormously effective part of the Knicks defense, which has held Milwaukee to that 33% number you're talking about in the second half.
How about the president of the Charles Oakley fan club, Coach Riley, today saying, or yesterday, I think Charles is the best defensive player in the game now. He said I might be stretching it a bit, but that was his opinion.
Oakley only beaten by Dennis Rodman in the rebounding numbers, but Rodman doesn't contribute like Charles Oakley does, that's for sure. Back in a moment.
Well, give the gift that contains the best of the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden gift certificates, available in denominations of $10, $25, $50, and $100. The gift certificates are redeemable for virtually anything in the Garden. Garden gift certificates are on sale now at the Garden Season Subscriptions office or by calling 212-465-6073.
Patrick Ewing, every time we see him tonight, he's smiling. He is enjoying this night off as he rests his strained neck. He and Rolando Blackman earlier. We saw Charles Smith. There have not been very many moments for the Knicks to worry tonight. Right now the lead is 15, and Charles Oakley's on the line. John, let's just pick up where we left off. Dennis Rodman last night, 1 shot, 29 rebounds. It's not even close to what Charles Oakley is giving this Knicks team in terms of that added extra dimension.
Charles really fits in as a major piece of the success this team is enjoying now. And he's very happy in his role. He doesn't have to score a lot, but now he's getting shots and more of a participant for the Knicks than he's ever been in the offensive end.
Vin Baker, very strong inside for Milwaukee in this fourth quarter. It will be Milwaukee ball. With 4:25 to go, John Barry has checked into the game, and he just tosses it away. Barry, one of 4 sons of Rick Barry to reach Division I hoops in the NCAA, traded over from the Boston Celtics with a draft pick for Ala Abdelnaby. He sees spot duty as he is tonight at Madison Square Garden. Not a great way to come off the bench, throwing the ball away like that.
Like last night, Al, the Knicks are performing on the defensive end in similar fashion. Nice move inside. Starks to Campbell. Last night they gave the Pacers 34 points in the second half, and tonight the Bucks only 31 points in the second half.
Starks feeding Tony Campbell, who has now passed 7,000 career points in the NBA. 10 on the 24-second clock. The fans begin to chant defense. The magic number for the free pizza is 85. 74 points have the Milwaukee Bucks with 3:40 to go. Bonner is fouled going up to the hoop. With 3:38 to go, Knicks up big. Let's go to Mike Crispino and find out how some other team is doing.
Alan John, over at the Meadowlands, the Sixers trailed the Nets by 23 points. But then the Sixers rallied. Sean Bradley on the layup, and now it's just 90-87 New Jersey.
All right, Mike, it's so rare when a 20-point lead is safe. Another lesson for the Nets tonight. Anthony Bonner gets it to fall. By the way, John, did you know that this is November 13th, and it's a rather important anniversary? Any idea? Anything come to mind? November 13th.
November 13th. Let's see, Al. Magic Johnson did some interesting things on this date.
No. Felix Unger is asked to remove himself from his place of residence. Do you know where that request came from, John?
From his wife.
Got it. The preceding message brought to you by the NBA. Fouled the other end by Greg Anthony. 5 fouls for Greg. With 3.5 to go, the Knicks up 93-74. Once again, 85 points is the Pizza Hut free pizza cutoff. The fans have picked up on this one quickly. Mayberry hits the first. Derek Strong off the bench for Milwaukee, replacing Brad Lohaus. Very limited duty for Lohaus tonight. Lee Mayberry off the bench, backing up Eric Murdoch. Strong night, 15 points. Pressure by Milwaukee. Campbell spins away from Mayberry. Tries to find Anthony Bonner on the run, but it was deflected by one of the Bucks. Nick Ball with 16 seconds on the 24-second clock.
Knicks have quite a run now. In the last 3 games, their opponents haven't gone over 90 points.
In the last 3 quarters of last night's victory over Indiana, the Pacers didn't break 20. 2 on the 24. Bonner's got to go. Way off. And as it doesn't hit the rim, the 24-second clock expires. 3:05 to go in the history of this Knicks franchise. And this is their 48th season. The Knicks have never started a season 6-0. They are 5-0 with a 17-point lead and under 3 minutes to go here at Madison Square Garden. The fans are hungry. They want defense to be played. Derek Strong will go to the line.
You know, Al, a lot is going to be said as this trend continues now over the second half of last night's game in Indiana and tonight about how the Knicks play without Patrick Ewing. With Patrick in there, the Knicks have an offense that everyone who plays against him knows what's going to happen. He's the focus. He's going to get that ball. And Patrick rewards his teammates night in and night out for doing that. The other side of it is very difficult for the defense to prepare for this Knicks team with Patrick on the bench, as we are finding more and more. This team is up to playing well without the somewhat predictable offense that the Knicks present with Patrick. So it's a very interesting situation that has developed here.
Oakley behind the back as the Knicks barely break the Buck pressure. Fans like that one. 10 seconds on the 24-second clock.
I mean, the Knicks did what they did last night in Indiana without John Starks, too.
And without Smith and without Ewing. Starks rolls it in. Oh, another beauty by Starks. He's now got 31 points. 2:15 to go. John Barry pulls up. He's got a great looking jump shot. He was one of the better scorers at Georgia Tech in his time there. It is a 15-point game, and the fans are booing because 5 more points and they'll have to buy their own pizza. 2 minutes to go.
Asked Mike Dunleavy about Barry's development. He said he's fine, but he's the 5th guard on our team, so I can't get him playing time.
Greg Anthony way outside, and the 24-second clock expires, and you're getting a look at the effect of Milwaukee tightening up their defense here in the last few minutes. The Knicks have been pushed to the limit of that 24-second clock the last few possessions. 1:40 to go. Barry drives away from Starks. Another chance for John to get this crowd involved.
John did a wise thing by not hot-dogging it with a reverse slam.
Todd Day.
What a move.
97-82. The Knicks have the ball, and the fans are chanting defense. John Starks has really been great.
The chant that we're hearing is pizza.
Where does that fit in Knick history? Derek Strong makes makes it 99-84. The fans will go wild if the Knicks prevent the Bucks from scoring. If the Bucks score 85, no pizza. They're standing. Starks off on the three-point attempt. Pulled down. John Barry's got it. 30 seconds to go. Barry pulls up. Got it. The Bucks break the 85-point mark.
Well, all of the Manhattan Pizza Hut restaurants are off the hook now. 85 points was the goal for the Knicks to keep them under 85. Anybody with a ticket stub could have gone to a Manhattan Pizza Hut and gotten a free pizza.
With 8 seconds to go, Anthony Bonner stepped on the end line. Well, the fans may be a little disappointed at this moment in terms of their appetites and so forth, but the Knicks, in terms of their appetite, nothing wrong there. They played the Milwaukee Bucks tough without Patrick Ewing. The final score at Madison Square Garden tonight, 99-86. The heroes, John Starks, 33 points, 35 points. Doc Rivers with an impressive display of leadership tonight, 8 points and 3 rebounds, but boy, he kept the Knicks moving in the third quarter when they reclaimed the lead. Anthony Bonner, 17 points, 9 rebounds. Bruce Beck will be back to talk about it all in our post-game coverage. The Knicks 99, the Bucks 86. Back in a moment on MSG.
Milwaukee Bucks 86. Terrific effort by John Starks, who had 35 points. Starks doing it all, including this clever penetrating move as the ball drops for him. And Patrick Ewing really celebrating, having a great time on the bench tonight. He was all smiles throughout the ball game. Ewing, who missed the game because of a strained neck, but he was rooting his teammates on and enjoying himself as well. John Starks finished with 15 of 26 from the floor. And John, I guess it's one of those nights where you get into a zone. Tell us about it.
That's true. I wanted to come out and establish a good offensive game and get us off to a quick start.
Last night you were ejected from the game. How were you able to put it behind you mentally?
Easily, we won. That's as simple as that. If we would have lost the game, it probably would have been hard on me tonight, but thank God that we won the game.
You and Day had a pretty good individual battle throughout the contest. You went at Day, he went at you.
That's true, and Day is a great competitor. He's going to be a great player in this league one day. You know, I just wanted to come out and establish a hard-nosed defense and then come out and get us off to a good start.
Why were you going to the hoop with more vengeance than you have all year?
Well, they was giving us opportunities on their pressing defense. So Coach said, once you get the ball, attack the rim, and that's what I did.
Did you feel with Patrick Ewing out of the lineup that you had to carry more of the offensive load?
No question. Whenever a star player like that goes, guys have to step up and play big. It wasn't just me that stepped up and played big. The whole team did a great job out there.
Your shooting percentage was down the first 5 games. You picked it up considerably tonight. Anything different in terms of your focus as far as your shot goes?
Just coming out and like you say, being focused and concentrating on each shot.
What about this win over the Bucks without Charles Smith, without Patrick Ewing? What did it mean to this ball club?
Just showing what type of depth we have and what type of players we have. This team is made up of some great veteran players and some great young players, and we're starting to blend.
Does it mean anything to start a year 6-0?
It means a great deal, especially when you're trying to get the best record in the NBA.
Well, you know, the Knicks of 69-70 started 5-0, and they ended up winning a world championship. Might this be an omen, John?
I hope so.
All right, John, terrific effort tonight. Continued success to you. Now you got the Texas trip. What are you thinking?
Well, we have to go down there just like we did on the road during the preseason. Go down there and stay focused on the road and not give up a lot of easy baskets and take their fans out of it.
Well, you're 4-0 on the road thus far, so continued success, John, and fine effort tonight.
Well, thank you.
John Starks, our player of the game, and he finishes terrific numbers as the NatWest player of the game. 35 points, 15 of 26 from the field. He made 3 for 5 from three-point land. And guests receive the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks are available where American Express Traveler's checks are sold. John Starks, a night to remember. We'll be back. Conference.
Just a real good effort and a good win. We've had 4 games in 5 days, and we get a little bit of a respite tomorrow, and we get back at it.
What's Patrick's status?
I don't know. It's going to be day to day. It's really a lot of spasms and real stiff, so he could hardly move it. So he would have gone if he could. Probably by Tuesday we'll know more.
Is this game an example where you don't have your number 1 guy, but if defense is a constant, good things happen?
Right. Anytime in the first period, we were so revved up. Sometimes a team will come in and they're rested. We played the night before. 2 guys are out, Charles Smith and also Patrick. Sometimes they might feel like they get a break, so it may benefit you that way. But, the energy we showed the first 10 minutes of the game, we contested over 70% of all shots taken. And in the second quarter, we contested 32%. We keep these numbers for a reason. And when we're up into the ball and we're up into the shots, they have a lot more of a chance to miss. And that's what our game is about. That's the one constant that can keep you in basketball games.
From what you've seen of Bonner so far, has he gone beyond the assessment you had of him before coming in?
No, we, when we worked him out 3 or 4 days in a row, both Dick Harder and Jeff, said he is a Knick. He's that kind of player. He's got young legs. He's very gifted athletically. And what I like about him, like Mason, is that at his size, he is a great ball handler. I mean, he can catch it against presses and traps, and he can take it. He has no fear. He takes the ball very strong right to the rim, and he'll dish it to people. So he has some real good skills. Offensive board work. He's really given us a great lift.
Pat, there seems to be an offensive cohesiveness better than ever in the last couple of games. What has brought that about?
The ball's moving. We get sort of hammered a little bit about not having a very effective offense, and I think if you take a look at the numbers, maybe the field goal percentage isn't what it should be, but I think we're leading the league, or we're close to leading the league in assists. And I think the one thing that our guys are working on, and what we emphasize a lot, is just moving the ball, moving your bodies, and I think the assists reflect that. So if the ball's moving, you're going to get better shots. I mean, we're going to be a post-up team, and we're going to wave the flag and let people know what our strength is. I mean, you can't disguise that too much, but that's how we play. We're going to defend and rebound and post the basketball, and then we'll go from there. Tonight, obviously, without Patrick and probably having Mason as the main post threat, John was a lot more free tonight to go, and he played one of the best games he's ever played from that standpoint, and we were looking for him. He got a roll going. I knew he was ready when after 2 seconds he jacked up a 3. Missed. I said to Dick, why did he take that shot so quick? And but he was on his game tonight.
The Coaches Conference is brought to you by Saturn. So the New York Knicks are now 6-0 in the season. The Milwaukee Bucks 1-5. A couple of big runs by the Knicks in the ball game. That proved to be the difference. We'll be back.
Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to fly, and when I got the opportunity to fly jets, I just had to go for it. I wanted to buy a fun car that kind of gave everyone else on the road an impression of my personality. And therefore I was looking for something fun and sporty and sleek and looked like it could possibly take off if given the proper runway.
Hey! That doesn't miss out!
If I may, the Canine Academy is conveniently located. We train show dogs that... No! Dealing with destructive behavior is our forte.
Get out, you little puppy!
The 9X Yellow Pages. It's surprising what the ads can tell you.
I'm not only the Academy president, I'm also a client.
In short, gentlemen, our capitalization plan has paid handsome dividends. Johnson here will fill you in on the details.
Thank you, JP. Let me begin by saying, we've
been acquired. By whom? The Omega Corporation? No. Chuck, from the mailroom.
Howdy, boys. Ms. Whitaker.
New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
Coffee, Johnson.
Hey, when I was coming up, I walked 15 miles in the snow every day to practice.
There were no locker rooms. The balls had laces, and the shoes were made of canvas.
What's canvas?
And there were no foot lockers. No foot lockers. No foot lockers.
No foot locker. Whoa, you guys had it rough.
Nobody's got more basketball shoes or more experience selling basketball shoes than Foot Locker, where it all begins.
You guys have commercials, right?
Cold, yeah. No heat.
At least now we know who's in charge.
Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood, A Perfect World. Rated PG-13. Starts November 24th everywhere.
So the Knicks set a franchise record for their fastest start in history by going 6-0 with the 99-86 victory over the Bucks. Leading scorer summary is brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. John Starks with 35 points. Anthony Bonner 17 points and 9 boards. Tony Campbell 5 for 6, had 11. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Todd Day with 17 points and 8 for 11 shooting. His old running mate at Arkansas, Mayberry, had 16. Avent and Baker with 10 each, and Brakowski finished with 9. So the Knicks with runs of 22-2 and 17-1. Not bad in terms of explosiveness without Patrick Ewing.
Rangers are back home to take on the San Jose Sharks after Sports Desk and Game Night tomorrow at 7 here on MSG Network.
Buying a house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make. And with today's interest rates being so low, now is the time to buy or refinance a home. But there are so many questions to be answered. Can I afford a new home? What type of mortgage do I need? How can I lower my monthly?
Following the miss by Doc Rivers, going high above the rim and jamming it home. Joined now by Michael Kay. And Michael, what was the reaction from the locker room?
Very businesslike. Anthony Mason pretty much summed it up. I asked him if there was any significance to the win without Ewing, without Smith. He goes, no. We're a great team. He says, we're supposed to win these games, and we do.
Nothing like a little humility.
I'll tell you, this Knicks team is very confident. There's no celebrating in that locker room right now. They're very, very confident. They feel they could beat anybody. But John Starks put it in perspective. He said, no Knicks team start at 6-0. He said, but we got 82 games. We can't worry about 6-0. Really doesn't mean that much.
Heck of a start, though, for the New York Knicks. Now 6-0 on the season. That's an all-time franchise record with the victory tonight over the Milwaukee Bucks, 99-86. Knicks back in action on MSG2 when they take to the road and take on the Dallas Mavs on Tuesday night. It begins with Game Night at 8 p.m. Coming up next, knocking at the door, the New York Yankees postseason review. I'm Bruce Beck. For all of us here at the Garden, have a good evening.